Sir, this budget lacks compassion and empathy. And the blame, I say this with all responsibility, lies at the doorstep of the Prime Minister. Sir, I'm a backbencher and I'm a tailender. I say this with all responsibility. The Prime Minister has been weakened. He has not been able to have a new cabinet, even though he's won for the third time. He has appointed the same ministers in the same portfolio. Had he chosen a member of this House as finance minister, that finance minister would have had the native intelligence of meeting constituents and understanding the problems of India, which is basically inflation and unemployment. Because this finance minister doesn't have a constituency, because this finance minister does not interact with people who go through daily problems of joblessness and price rise, this budget lacks empathy and compassion. I hope this finance minister, when she comes at 4 o'clock, doesn't compare herself with some of her predecessors who came from the other house. Their economic background is much different from hers. If she had empathy and compassion, she would address the unemployment issue. There are 10 lakh vacancies in the government of India. This budget does not speak about filling those vacancies. The GST is a mess. The GST has been the multi-slab GST is the cause of inflation and price rise. She has not addressed it. In fact, they levy GST even on prosthetics and artificial limbs and motorized wheelchair, which basically means this government is levying a tax on walking. Sir, we are one of the most underinsured countries in the world. This government levies 18% GST on insurance premium for health and life. Shame, sir, shame. This has to be withdrawn in this budget, sir. Sir, further, there have been students who have taken student loans who can't repay it because of the unemployment crisis in India. There has been no waiver or write-off or relief for those who have taken student loans. And the ELI scheme, as best, is woolly, sir. Sir, this government has no compassion and no empathy because it's divorced from the realities of India. Even their core constituencies are now complaining about them because they've removed indexation. By removing indexation, what you have really done is you are not giving the benefit of buffering yourself against inflation. You go read the social media post. Your own core constituencies are criticizing you. This government is a fatigued government. This government has got malaise. This government has no new ideas and no freshness. And they talk about giving 17,500 rupees as tax relief. That translates to 47 rupees a day. What can you buy for 47 rupees a day except for a Jio recharge? Nothing else can be bought for 47 rupees a day other than a Jio recharge. Sir, this budget must be rejected by this House because it lacks compassion and empathy. Thank you very much.
प्रेमचंद्र जी प्लीज माननीय वित्त मंत्री जी प्लीज बेटे नहीं
सर थैंक यू
अभी प्रशिक्षण में सुनाऊंगा सबको उसमें विशेष रूप से जो सीनियर है ना उनको भी प्रशिक्षण देना पड़ेगा दादा सोगत राय जी को मैं तो रोज पढ़ता हूं नियम को डेली
Sir, thank you very much, Speaker, sir. And I thank every member of the House who has spoken and taken interest in the budget which has been presented here. Let me at the outset thank the people of this country for giving this government, headed by Shri Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, a historic third consecutive term in office. It actually reaffirms the faith the people have and the commitment with which Honorable Prime Minister is leading the country, and therefore building stability and coming up with people-centric policies. We shall all work together to build a Vikasit Bharat by the year 2047. I am extremely humbled by the trust, faith I'm extremely humbled by the trust vested in me by Honorable Prime Minister, and it encourages me to work even harder to attain government's vision of Vikasit Bharat. I would like to thank all the members for having participated in this robust debate, and I'm trying here to address almost all the issues raised by the honorable members, and I shall go by issue, which would cover many members under each issue, but I'll try to name as many of them as possible. So just before I do the part where I'm responding to the honorable members, I would like to highlight some of the budgetary points, features, which is very important for us to understand where this budget fits in itself in the long path towards Vikasit Bharat. Sir, this budget actually draws upon what was mentioned in the vote on account. So essentially infuses into itself everything, almost everything said in the vote on account. And after that, of course, brings a newer addition towards making this year the first step towards the next 5 years leading towards Vikasit Bharat. So the continuity from the vote on account is something that I'd like to underline. The principle of governance has from 2014 been Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Sabka Vishwas, and Sabka Prayas. And following that, we shall come forward and work together to make sure we overcome all the difficulties. The budget actually seeks to consolidate all the earlier accomplishments. It also outlines measures in order that we overcome the challenges, and two core elements have been highlighted. One is the social inclusivity, that is reaching out to all strata of the people in the society, and geographical inclusivity through equitable development for all the regions in our country. So we are taking a whole of nation approach and now seeking to make sure that we fulfill the aspirations of our people. So briefly, if I were to summarize on points which are meeting this objective that we have set before ourselves, is the expenditure of the government has actually grown exponentially. It is today 48.21 lakh crores. It is projected to grow by about 7.3% over 23-24 and 8.5% over pre-actuals of 23-24. We call it pre-actuals, although with the final figures are almost there because it has to be certified and audited. We give the nomenclature pre-actuals, but they are close, actually close to the real REs. Within the total expenditure, sir, one feature which has marked India's growth story post the COVID, it is the capital expenditure, which the public money with which we are building assets, meaning government's own expenditure to build assets, to build capital expenses, are the ones. Capital expenditure is the one which has actually enabled us to come out of COVID, whilst many other countries in the world are doing very many different things. But yet, this one tested formula of depending on the multiplier which comes out of spending on public expenditure, spending on capital expenditure through public money, has actually yielded us such results that post-COVID, consistently we've maintained high growth rate, and we are the fastest growing in the world as a result of this very clear government's approach. And in that total expenditure of 48.21 lakh, 11.11 lakh go for capital expenditure. Sir, budgeted capital expenditure is now almost 3.3 times the capital expenditure which was there in 2019-20, that is prior to COVID, sir. If you actually calculate the effective capital expenditure, that is the sum which is referred to when the budgeted capital outlay and the grants and aid for creation of capital assets, which is given to the states. Grants and aid go to the state's capital account, but it remains in the revenue account for us. But because it also creates capital in the state's name, if we were to calculate the effective capital expenditure, it is pegged at 15.02 lakh, or above 18% over the RE of 23-24. So that is the impetus we are giving for growth to be sustainable and for us to retain the growth rate that we have been very clearly attributing for the hard work of the people of this country. I'm not getting into the details of the revenue expenditure because that is already in the budget documents. But more importantly, I get into talking about the allocations because I think a lot of members have said probably the allocations in the social sector has come down. I want to, by giving the data, I want to showcase to the ministers, to the honorable members, that the expenditure on the contrary has gone up in each one of them, and I'll show by how many. So agriculture and allied sector in 2013 and 14 had just 30 lakh crores, meaning 0.30 lakh crores, whereas now it is 1.52 lakh crores. It is even 8,000 crores more than the last year, which is 23-24. So even over last year, we have made an increase and not brought a reduction in them. So education and employment and skilling is the next one, sir, in which 0.85 lakh crore is what was allotted for education, employment and skilling in 2013-14, whereas today it is 1.48 lakh crores, which is 23% more allocation even over the last year, 28,000 crores more than last year, which is 23% more allocation compared to even last year. In 10 years, 0.85 lakh crore to 1.48 lakh crores. Women and girls, 0.96 lakh crore in 13-14. It is 3.27 lakh crores, 41% more allocation, or 96,000 crores more than the last year. Rural development, including infrastructure, sir, 0.87 lakh crore, and this year, that is 2013 and 14, whereas this year it is 2.66 lakh crores, which is 11.7% more allocation over the last year, 28,000 crores more than the last year. Urban development was only 0.12 lakh crores in 2013-14, whereas it is close to a lakh crore now, 7,000 crores more than last year. Health and social welfare, sir, 0.72 lakh crores in 2013-14. It is now 1.46 lakh crores, 3,000 crores more than the last year itself. So nowhere has the budget given lesser allocation than the previous year. So I would want to appeal to honorable members to please have a look at the document in full and see that no allocation has been reduced. So just briefly, what the budget 2024-25 tries to bring in is a balance among several objectives, because growth is important, and through better growth, higher growth, we believe that inequality can be addressed. So growth, employment, welfare spending, capital investments, and fiscal consolidation. These are the factors which we've tried balancing in the budget. So an indicator which is very important for us. If I'm insisting on doing public spending on capital expenditure, the quality of public spending is the revenue deficit to fiscal deficit ratio normally. From about 80% in 2020-2021 COVID year, on account of COVID pandemic, the revenue deficit to fiscal deficit ratio, sir, was expected to fall to 36% was very high, whereas it is now fallen to, it is expected to fall to 36% in 24-25, and therefore reflecting the fact that expenditure is going towards quality asset creation. No one can refute this data, sir. These are all available in public domain. And the other thing which is an important indicator is, I had promised in this House, 21-22, that the government would endeavor to attain fiscal deficit to GDP level below 4.5% by the year 25-26, from an unprecedented high of 9.2% in 2020-2021. We have kept completely to the trajectory projected. We have not deviated from it. We are complying by that fiscal deficit trajectory given by me. Even today, you see that we've gotten close to the 4.6. Actually, this year, we have clearly given 4.9 as the fiscal deficit. So we are keeping our word on that. India's exceptional post-pandemic economic recovery to become the fastest growing economy over the last 3 years is truly magnificent. And I thank every citizen, the middle class, the entrepreneurs, the farmers, marginal workers, traders, everyone who I've mentioned, I've not mentioned, deserve big gratitude, a word of thanks from all of us, sir, because of their toil and hard work and belief that they have to bring up the situation for their families to be better, has resulted in India becoming the fastest growing economy. And how many nations, may I ask this year, how many nations have achieved this balance through the budget since post-COVID to retain that growth, ensure that this balance happens and continues that sustainable growth momentum? So at least these sort of things which have to be remembered for the sake of thanking our people, I would like to highlight these as the last few years' achievement of this government and entirely thanking the people of India. And this couldn't have been possible unless there is a hardworking, visionary leadership which takes us forward so that the country can really come out of the COVID distress. And I thank Honorable Prime Minister for his leadership on this. Sir, I had also presented the Jammu Kashmir budget for 24-25. I'm happy to inform that the concrete steps that have been taken to enable the Union Territory to break free from the fetters of the past, namely the legacy of fiscal distress which has been inherited from the erstwhile state. We have provided substantial financial support, and I'll give the number, 17,000 crores in the union budget of the UT of J&K this year. It includes 12,000 crore towards financing the cost of Jammu Kashmir Police. That's a burden we want to take on our shoulders so that J&K has more flexibility to spend money for developmental activities. And the additional central assistance of 5,000 crore has been provided. With this support, I expect the GSDP ratio, fiscal deficit to GSDP ratio of the Union Territory would be somewhere, and I'm estimating it, somewhere in the range of 3% for the year 24-25. The public finances of the Union Territory are now back on the rails, and they are now able to focus on developmental activities much more than ever before. And the fiscal prudence is the biggest spirit with which the welfare activities are being taken up without any compromise on Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. So, because Jammu and Kashmir budget was particularly of interest to some of the members, I would like to respond to the members as well, much before I go to responding to members on the general budget. Sir, some members of J&K have raised questions about unemployment rate in J&K. Mia Altaf MP and also Honorable Member Aga Syed Ruhullah Mehdi. They have raised issues about unemployment, and I would want to put it on the record of this House. Unemployment rate, that is for the age group of 15 to 59 years, has actually come down for J&K from 6.4% in 2020-2021 to 5.7% in 21-22 to 4.4% in 22-23, sir. So there is a reduction in the unemployment rate in J&K. The reduction is primarily because there is a lot of avenues being created for self-employment and livelihood opportunities through Government of India schemes are reaching all people in J&K, and as a result, you can see that employment opportunities in the sense of self-employment has actually grown. So again, Honorable Member Mia Altaf had raised this issue about the works that were undertaken by the Union Territory government for the welfare of tribals. I'll certainly like to say, sir, there are about 9 important things which need to be highlighted. The Union Territory government has undertaken several initiatives for tribal welfare in the areas of healthcare, education, culture, infrastructure development, and livelihood. After 2 decades, actually, forest rights were granted to tribal communities. 2 शतक के बाद, इंतजार के बाद, ट्राइबल communities का उनका हक forest rights के द्वारा दिया गया है. 5,943 forest right certificates have been issued to the tribal people. First ever survey of the nomadic tribal population has also been conducted. Transport facilities are being provided to the nomadic tribes and the Bakarwals because they move up the range during summer and come down from the higher reaches to the lower levels. Transport facility is also being provided. Transit accommodation is provided to migratory tribal communities. Again, the communities which move from colder to slightly warmer regions in winter, including community kitchens, medical and veterinary dispensaries, and community toilets. All these have been provided for the migratory tribal communities. Professional coaching centers, scholarships, skilling for 48,000 tribal youth, 8 new hostel buildings, 285 smart schools, 6 Ekalavya residential schools have all been developed in the Union Territory of Kashmir. 80 schools to be transformed into smart schools in the tribal areas. That's a very important step forward, and it will benefit tribal children. 186 tribal villages are being developed under the PM Adi Adarsh Yojana, so helping tribal communities. Tribal Research Institute is being developed in Srinagar, and these are some of the very specific measures being taken by the government, and I hope the Honourable MP has got substantial information on the question that he asked. Sir, now I come to the general budget, in which I go by issues in which many members of parliament have spoken, so I've clubbed together members. The first issue I take up is members from the opening speaker, Kumari Shelja, Professor Saugata Roy, Hebe Eden, Dr. T. Sumati, Charanjit Singh Channiji, and many others have all spoken about how there is a threat to cooperative federalism. Only few states have been given the benefits in the budget. Sir, I'm very sure, I would like to humbly state this, I'm sure all the members know that in a budget speech, if a state is not named, it doesn't mean that no money goes to them. And therefore, that was a misleading campaign, which, being in the opposition, unfortunately, a lot of members did speak about. It pains me to know that they could say that if you're not mentioned in the budget speech, your state gets nothing at all. Sir, I would like to I'd like to tell you, Honorable Speaker, sir, from 2004-5, sir, 2004 to 5 onwards. First of all, I'll say बाकी राज्यों को क्या है वगैरह, but I'll first say some things. Sir,
कोई भी माननीय सदस्य बैठे बैठे कोई भी टिप्पणी करे तो आपको उसका जवाब नहीं देना.
ठीक है सर. बिना परमिशन. सर. Sir, I'll take the example, sir. Sir, I'm picking up on the budget speeches since 2004-5, 5-6, 6-7, 2007-8, and so on, sir. 2004-5 budget did not take the name of 17 states. I like to ask the UPA government members at that time, did money not go to those 17 states? Did they stop it? Then if they stopped it, they have every business to ask this question. I presume they didn't stop money going to those 17 states because they didn't name it. So when it is one thing for them, it's all right. When the same thing happens somewhere else, no, it's not all right, you've deceived. 17 states were not named in 2004-5. 18 states were not named in 2005-6. 13 states were not named in 2006-7. 16 states were not named in 2007-8. Money didn't go to them. 2008-9, 13 states were not named. 2009-10, 26 states were not named. 26, which means only 2. Sir, oh yes, sir, if we are being blamed that only 2 states were named and the other states are not getting anything, 2009-10 budget had only 2 states, Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, and no other state. What does that mean then? It's all right when you do it. You didn't give money to those states which you didn't name. So, sir, you can't have it both the ways. You do one thing and then you blame the same thing on somebody else. What happens to the states which were not named? I'm asking now, 2009-10, 26 states of India did not have a mention. 2009-10, the full budget, 20 states. Interim budget did not have 26. The full regular budget, 20 states did not have it. So what does that mean, sir? They continue to ignore states. 2010-11, 19 states were ignored. 2011-12, 15 states were ignored, they didn't mention. 12-13, 16 states were ignored. 13-14, 10 states were ignored. So, sir, for that matter, the interim budget of 2014-15 ignored 26 states. Was there a noise? Did people say you ignored those states, you didn't give money? So, if you want to distort and create a poor, you want to give a sense of fear among people, you can go about distorting data. But this stands here, sir. Sir, in the last few years, now, each state, we had ministers go and explain how much has been given to each of the states. All right, sir?
रिकॉर्ड तो है, रिकॉर्ड है दादा, इसीलिए रिकॉर्ड होता है वकीलों के पास.
Sir, I just want to say this, sir. Just random examples of how much has gone to different states. Bulk drug parks in Himachal Pradesh for now 1,900 crores. Very recently announced by Prime Minister Modi. PM Mitra Textile Park went to Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Telangana. Have they not received monies for that? 500 crores for Greenfield Park and 200 crore for Brownfield Park. These are just random examples, sir. Railways, West Bengal, Jharkhand and Bihar, multi-tracking of Son, Nagar and Andal. Telangana and Maharashtra. Yes, it is, everybody is right and that's why I'm answering. But instead of reading a complete list, I'm giving random examples so that people can understand.
2,700 crore.
Railways, Telangana and Maharashtra, doubling of Mudked, Medchal, Mehboob Nagar, Don route. Telangana and AP, doubling of Motumarri, Vishnupuram sections. Telangana and AP, Bhadrachalam, Dronakal sections. Amount, sir, 12,334 crore. West Bengal, Jharkhand, Bihar, Telangana and Maharashtra 4,686 crore. Telangana and AP 1,596 crore. Telangana and AP Bhadrachalam Dronakal section 770 crore. These are going for railways alone.
Himachal Pradesh 27.
Sir, major highway projects, Kerala, major highways projects. So I will like to put on record, because after all, the respective honorable members of Kerala insisted, and I'm glad to receive them, that much before I deliver the reply today, I have to meet with them. It was an all-party delegation. I happily met with them. I have no problems. I will address issues also that I have stated, and let it go on record that all the MPs came and met me before I gave the reply. I have no hesitation, sir. And there is no vanchana to any state. Nobody is being denied any money. So, India's first, sir, Kerala I mentioned, NH 66, Kappirikadu, Edappalli in Thrissur district. 9,667 crore major highway project, Kerala. Sir, major money comes na, 9,606 ongoing. Money comes or not? So, Mukkola junction to Kerala, Tamil Nadu border, 1,148 crore. Sir, J&K, Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Amritsar, Katra road project, 18,000. Sir, kindly, honorable speaker, sir, J&K, Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, Amritsar, Katra road project, 18,274 crore. Sir, again Kerala, sir. India's first transshipment port. All of us happily celebrated when a very big vessel reached Virinjam port. Kerala government, Congress government gave it. And nobody from who are speaking about AAs and A2, A1 and A2s don't question Kerala Congress government when Virinjam was given on invitation to, I'm not taking the name, one of the A's. On invitation. And nobody went. Nobody from Congress party went and said, "Arey, why are you giving to AA? Can't give it to AA." They didn't say. And afterwards, when communists came, when Communist Party came to power in Kerala, even they did not disturb it. Congress gave it, communists came afterwards, even they also didn't touch it. How much of viability gap funding has been given by Government of India, sir? 818 crores have been given for Virinjam Port by Government of India for a project that they themselves invited someone of the A and gave it, and that one of the A was given by Congress. Another who came as a communist also did not touch it. It's going on fine till today. But lectures on AA is only for all of us. Sir? So, cooperative federalism, states not being mentioned in the budget speech, doesn't have to be a very big issue. They all know they have presented budget in this country for decades. But when it is a ordinary chai wala OBC leader who comes to become prime minister and he does administration well, you then have a problem. Arey, kya ho rahi hai? Is he doing well? No, we'll have to protest. This will not work out, sir. People are seeing this game.